Autotek's Mean Machine series of amplifiers claims to bring extreme power and high sound quality with minimum distortion. But just how mean is the Autotek MM2020.2 2-channel amplifier? Stay tuned for our testing in a minute to find out. Inside the box is an installation guide, high-level input harness, mounting hardware, and 2-channel amplifier. This is a bridgeable Class AB 2-channel amplifier, which can also operate in mono. It's stable at 2 ohm and 4 ohm loads, but not stable at 1 ohm. Autotek rates it 1000 watts RMS by 2 channels at 2 ohms, 500 watts RMS by 2 channels at 4 ohms, and 1000 watts RMS by 1 channel bridged at 4 ohms. Those are some serious claims for an amplifier that goes for $80. Personally, I'm a little skeptical, especially after opening it up and looking at the guts. It looks more like the board to my Game Boy Color when I was 10. Let's test this mean machine out for ourselves and see how mean it actually is. First, we ran a test on frequency response, and this has to be the best plot we've ever seen. You could hang a painting with that line so flat. Promising start, right? Next test, we ran 2 channels driven at 4 ohms, 40 Hz, 14.46 volts. We got a clean waveform using our Phonic PAAX as a tone generator at 1 dB, 66 watts RMS of output on the SMD, 17.02 volts of output on the Lumi voltmeter while drawing 18.17 amps of current, and 72.85 watts RMS of output on our HP 8903B audio analyzer with 0.8% distortion. Raising our tone generator to 2 dB, distortion increased to 5.4%, and our output went up to 83.63 watts RMS. Next, 2 channels driven at 4 ohms, 1 kHz, 14.4 volts. We got a clean waveform at 3 dB. Our SMD picked up 68 watts RMS, 18.82 volts of output on the Lumi, while drawing 19.41 amps of current, and 88.6 watts RMS on our HP with 2.25% distortion. Lowering the output on our signal generator to 1 dB, the distortion dropped to 0.4%, and the output dropped to 72.85 watts RMS. Next, single channel driven at 4 ohms, 1 kHz, 14.52 volts. Our oscilloscope showed a clean waveform at 2 dB. Our SMD picked up 77 watts RMS, 20.82 volts of output on the Lumi, while drawing 11.26 amps of current, and 107.6 watts RMS on our HP with 4.3% distortion. Lowering to 1 dB, distortion dropped to 0.3%, and output dropped to 92.35 watts RMS. Single channel driven at 4 ohms, 40 Hz, 14.52 volts. We got a clean waveform at 2 dB. Our SMD picked up 81 watts RMS, 19.13 volts of output on the Lumi, while drawing 10.71 amps of current, and 91.78 watts RMS on our HP with 1.28% distortion. Lowering to 1 dB, distortion dropped to 0.38%, and our output dropped to 74.13 watts RMS. Then we tested at 2 ohms, single channel, unbridged, 40 Hz, 14.45 volts. We got a clean waveform at 1 dB. Our SMD picked up 118 watts RMS, 16.59 volts of output on the Lumi, while drawing 18.09 amps of current, and 137 watts RMS on our HP with 3.5% distortion. Lowering our generator to 0 dB, distortion dropped to 0.64%, and our output dropped to 114.9 watts RMS. Our final test was in bridged mode at 4 ohms, 40 Hz, 14.31 volts. We got a clean waveform at -1 dB. Our SMD picked up 199 watts RMS, 30.58 volts of output on the Lumi, while drawing 32.82 amps of current, and 229.5 watts RMS on our HP with 5.5% distortion. Lowering our generator to -2 dB, distortion dropped to 0.95%, and our output dropped to 200.8 watts RMS. When it comes to being mean, this Autotek Mean Machine is about as scary as a Labrador puppy. I mean, it still has teeth, so when it bites you, it'll still hurt a little. For $80, this amplifier is a solid option for powering front or rear speakers, or bridging a single entry-level 10 or 12-inch subwoofer. In that respect, it gets the job done for under $100, but it didn't really come close to its rated specs, only hovering between 20 and 50% of its rating in single or two-channel mode, and 20 to 25% of its rating in bridged mode. But still, $80. There are multiple ways to wire your head unit to this Autotek. Use the pair of RCA inputs to connect to your head unit directly with RCA cables. Or use the high-level speaker input harness to connect to the harness of your factory stereo. You can also use the RCA outputs to daisy chain a second amplifier. For adjustments, you get input level control, bass boost, high pass filter, and low pass filter. For power and ground connections, the terminals will fit 4-gauge power wire with the proper spade connections. The speaker terminals will fit as low as 8-gauge speaker wire, but it's not necessary to go that low. 12 or 10 gauge will work fine for speaker and subwoofer connections. Check out our amplifier installation kits online, links in the bio. Autotek is built in 230 amp fusers and LED power and protect indicators to help prevent internal damage. Be sure to go to qualitymobilevideo.com to get all of your car audio and video gear with us today. Links for everything again in the bio below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button, but if you hated it, click the dislike button. Join the conversation below and subscribe to our channel if you're new. Thanks for watching.